This is a short video to give you an orientation of Math 118 Elementary Statistics for fall semester. And so when you log into Lumen, that's where all of our class materials will be contained and where I'll be messaging you and you can message me. I always want you to start looking in the current week announcement folder here. This is where I'll share with you any important information. Right now you can see here is the welcome message. My name. This video is going to go through the classroom structure, go a little bit into the grade book, feedback, and sending and receiving messages in Lumen. I want you to read through this in detail. I'm not going to read this word by word, but you can do that once you log into Lumen. But it is important. I'll just go through a few things. It's really important that you utilize all of the classroom resources, which again are all contained within Lumen. Each section of the class has embedded the textbook embedded and also has lesson videos embedded. I don't recommend that you watch random YouTube videos or use AI because this is a simulation-based statistics class, and random videos will, oftentimes use different criteria or will have more rigorous information than we are using in this class. The other thing I want to bring to your attention is because this is an online class, we do not have in-person lecture. If you were taking this class in person, you would spend 3 hours per week in lecture, and then you'd be expected to spend 2 to 3 hours per week per credit hour on your own outside of class. That translates into about 9 hours for a total of 12 hours. So please do, I'll tell you that if you keep up with the work, you do the reading, you do the homework, you'll do fine in this class. But if you don't, you'll find it difficult to sort of catch up and do well on the in-person exams. There is a written homework section or assignments within this class. I do not grade the written homework anymore because many students have just resorted to using AI, and so they're really not learning how to write the responses for this class. We really need to make sure that you feel comfortable with the written responses. You'll have access to the answer key so that, and I will post additional materials to really model my expectation. So even though you don't get graded on the written homework, you really should spend a good amount of time making sure that you understand those written responses, do the homework, as they are very similar to questions that you'll find on the quizzes as well as the in-person exams. We do use an applet in this class. This is a simulation-based statistics class versus sort of a more rigorous theoretical class. I'll show you where those applets are as well. And lastly, we have online quizzes in this class, and you'll be required to attach screenshots of your work from the applet for full credit, and those quizzes are also timed. Again, if you're not practicing the homework, you may find it difficult to complete those quizzes within the allotted time, so you really need to be practicing the work. Okay, so you do have access to the Math and Science Center on the main campus. They do also have Zoom tutoring as well. And here's just some additional instructions on how to do screenshots for both Mac and Windows. So you'll do that a lot in class. Lastly, I just made some screenshots of the entire schedule for this class. This may change slightly, so I always recommend you referring to the Lumen calendar, which I'll show you in a second, but this gives you an idea of the overall class. You can see we have 4 quizzes and we have 2 in-person exams and our final exam down here. Okay, so every time I have a new announcement, I'll move the current week announcement to this prior week announcement folder. So you'll always have access to all the announcements posted. They'll be in either the current week folder or the prior week folder. And notice that these little triangles, they expand and collapse when you click on them. Okay, So always be checking in those folders. All right, so I do want to take you to this course information folder. If you look here, you'll see that the syllabus, and there is a syllabus quiz. The syllabus is right here for you to access, and you should review that before you take the syllabus quiz. There is a full copy of the textbook right here, which is free. It's an OER textbook, meaning Open Educational Resources. So you can download that. You can go to the library and have that printed off if you want to. And then just some additional input about how to be successful within Lumen. And again, how to ask questions and get help. I mentioned the Math and Science Center before. But the best way to contact me is actually through Lumen, through this messages link. I'll show you in a second. You can also email me through Outlook, but I tend to answer messages more quickly through the Lumen system, and it also helps to let me know which class you're emailing me from if you do it from within Lumen. Okay, the course calendar. If you click on this this top folder, right now I just have 2 weeks showing on the calendar. And you'll notice you can see August 24th, it's like a pink orange there. Any time that you're physically on a day of the calendar, you'll see that you can, when you click on it, you'll have a link to the assignment or the reading for that day, a live link that you can click on. If you click on this event list, it is going to take you to and show you all of the 2 weeks in this case of links available. If I click on that again, it brings the calendar back up. I can also show more weeks if I want. So you can look at the entire calendar here, and you could come down here and say show all, and you can have access to any of the live links here. I like to keep it on 2 weeks just because it gets a little messy if you have that too much information showing. Okay. I mentioned the applet links. You'll see them here. This is the Rossman Chance applet that we'll be using for this class. And then here's some of the commonly used applets with direct links to those. All right, you'll also see here that each chapter, we have 5 chapters that we cover in this class. And if you drill down into each chapter, then you'll see section by section. If you drill down into the section, you'll see the textbook that goes along with section 1.1, and you can see all of these lesson videos. And then within each of the section folders, you can also access the homework and start the homework from within the folder. You can also access the homework, like I said, through the course calendar. If you want to get back to the main screen, you're always just going to click right here on the name of the course, and it'll take you back to this screen here. All right, I'll collapse that. So sometimes if you're really drilling down into folders, it can get a little messy. So what I've done is I've set up these quick links on the left-hand margin here. So basically, any of these folders here you can access directly on this left-hand margin, just in case, like I said, it gets kind of messy if you're drilling down into folders. Online quizzes. So they're here. There's 4 online quizzes. They are only available on the date of which they're due. So this won't be available until September 10th, for instance. So just be always checking the calendar. You'll only have the quiz will only be available the day that it is due, starting at 7 a.m. until midnight. All right, let me go back here. All right, so let's talk about messages. I mentioned that the best way to get in touch with me is messaging through Lumen. I've sent myself a message here. You'll see just like when you get a notification on your phone or, with your email, it'll let you know when you see this little icon here. You'll know that you have a new message, and you can access it directly there. And just it's very simple to reply through here. All right. I want to talk about the gradebook too. So if you go in the gradebook, you'll also see here that you have the ability to access assignments here. You'll see this late pass. I think I have 10 late passes issued for this class, and a late pass will extend the due date by 24 hours. and I believe I have a 20% penalty for that. Um, the other thing I want to tell you that is if you do a homework assignment, I might leave you feedback here. You'll see that you have feedback if you have a live link in that feedback column. Okay. And so if I go to this assignment here, I'm going to show you when you're in an assignment, you'll get a response right away. So for this question one, for instance, you can see that I answered that the best estimate for the mean was 18, and it gave me this little green border around it, and this check mark tells me that I got the answer correct. Here on part B, I got it incorrect. And so if I get an answer incorrect twice, it will then, this is the answer key, this view key here, and it tells me the answer, okay? And so what I can do is then, it only gives you 2 tries on a question, but you can get a similar question and answer that and submit it. And so you can do any homework assignment until you get 100 on it. So just a little bit of information there. All right. So when you're going through the homework assignments, you can see here, if you click on this drop down, it'll tell you how many points you've actually earned per question and the total number of points that each question is. Okay, let me go back here. And I think that's about it for now. But always, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask me any questions. I look forward to working with you.